What is good, hunters? Welcome back to another video. In this video I want to talk about spooking. I kind of want to revisit a video I made like a couple months ago about spooking, because I think there's been some mechanics that's been added that we can talk about, which pretty much enhances the experience. Let's get into it. If you're coming from Call of the Wild, you would understand that as you walk and approach animals, noise is dynamic, meaning every footstep you make contributes to noise, which will alert animals. In Way of the Hunter, that's not the case. Noise is not dynamic. How it works is proximity to the animals. So think of it as a meter that builds up as you approach the animal. The closer you get, the more that meter builds up, which leads to spooking. Right? So it goes from calm, the meter builds up, alert, it builds up some more, spook. Now, your approach is very, very important when it comes to Way of the Hunter. If you want to have success, you have to treat the game as a real hunting game. Now, it's not a fully realistic game. It doesn't have all the hardcore parts to it, but it's pretty close. This is probably the best experience you will have in a hunting game. I have 2 gem spucks just up ahead that we'll be testing on here, and our weapon of choice is the Remington 700. So we're just going to bring that along. So it's very important that you understand this mechanic, because if you want to have success, you need to learn how to approach animals. We have 8 different speeds of walking, and I'm only going to address 3, which is in the crouch position that I'm in. You can slow down even more, which I'm using the right thumbstick on my controller. I believe that's control on the keyboard. Or you can take your gun out, and when you're aiming, I believe that is the slowest you can move. So use them in whatever way that benefits you. So with Hunter Sense on, when you scan an animal or a herd, you will see that the behavior says calm. This is the natural state animals will be in before you approach them. That behavior will change the moment you alert them. You want to adopt the stop and go concept, which is taking 3 to 4 footsteps forward and stopping. Because any kind of forward movement will add to that meter. If you move left and right, you won't add to it as much. Still, you can spook animals, but not as much. So if you need to move to get a vantage point, you can move left and right. The moment you move forward, you're adding to that spook meter. So keep that in mind. In some cases, animals will have a pre-alert status. You won't even know it's activated unless you observe. And what this does, this puts them sort of a pre-alert status where the moment they enter that status, the animation sort of transition, where they will start looking at you, approaching you like this gem spuck is doing. This is a new mechanic that came with Tikumun Plains. Animals will now come and check you out if they sense that you are around. So it's important that you sit and you observe before you shoot your animal. So you want to use that approach to the animal and kind of sit and be patient with it, and use that time to observe the animal, watch their behavior, monitor their behavior on the analysis, and act accordingly. This is very important. The moment you You step away from these rules, you're going to spook a lot of animals, you're going to be frustrated. It's a game where you have to slow things down. Take your time. It's an observation type of game. You can't be running and gunning. If you choose to play that way, it's a whole different game altogether. But when you treat it like a real hunting simulator, it works perfectly. So we got a nice frontal shot on our gems bug here. Right artery. Sorry, not right artery. Artery and right lung. So it's a female. Female has no genetic rating. So you'll see 0% there. And this is the approach you will need to approach animals. There are many different ways you can hunt in Way of the Hunter. Choose which one suits you. But as long as you understand the rules, it makes all the difference. Then you can break it, you can do whatever you want. At this speed here that I'm moving at, this will spook a lot of animals. Now I'm playing on Adventurer, which I feel reflects the majority of the player base. So I can demonstrate a more realistic idea of what I'm trying to show here. So again, you can slow that down. You can slow it standing up if you want to. But crouching gives you less visibility from the animals. Always pay attention to what mood you're in. Always look ahead. Make sure there is no animals in the close vicinity. And if they're close by and you get a call, make sure that you change your speed and you approach them accordingly. So now the analysis is showing that the animals are alerted to my presence. The distance is 100 to 120 meters. Now the devs have told us that it's closer. So the animals will be closer than what it says there. So always keep that in mind. And in this state, you can still approach the animals, but you have to do it slowly. Stop and go. And this is very time consuming. This can take half an hour, 15 minutes. It all depends on your difficulty. You gotta be patient. You have to outweight the animal. Just like in real life. If you wait long enough, that status changes. You gotta be cautious. Listen for footsteps, because the animals will be moving around now, coming to check you out. They're not just gonna stand there anymore. For the most part. The higher the difficulty, the higher this process becomes. You're gonna have to really be mindful of what you're doing. On the lower difficulties, you have a lot more leverage. This game is so much fun. Playing like this, stalking your animals, is worth it. It makes getting your trophy shots so rewarding. And I know a lot of players don't like that process. But if you're a hunter, you enjoy hunting, this is right up your alley. Being able to stalk these animals in a very skillful way, so much fun and so rewarding when you actually get a good trophy. So when you spook a herd naturally by walking, they're going to run about 300 meters. If you shoot at the herd, expect them to be further, 5 to 6. And also you're adding hunting pressure to this area, to this herd. If you shoot at this herd 2 to 3 times, they're going to change zones and they're going to go somewhere else. They won't be originally where you find them. So we are at 148 meters out. We got the left lung. We got a male adult, 46%. Beautiful. And that's really the loop of the game and the concept. It's not hard to understand. It's just simply slowing down the game, understanding the mechanics, the behavior of the animals, check the status, be patient. If they get alerted, be patient, don't move until that changes. If you want more of a challenge, you can go up to Ranger where you have no concept of what the animal is doing from an analysis standpoint. There's no visual clues as far as that's concerned. You have to watch the animal and pay attention to the animal. That's the mood that I play on. And overall, Way of the Hunter gives you a lot of different options in how you want to play. You want to run and gun, you can do that. You don't want much of a challenge, you want to stay sort of in the middle ground, you can do that. You want hardcore, you got Ranger and Hunter. You can play however you like. But learning these mechanics is very, very important to success, so you won't be frustrated. If you're finding that you're spooking animals a lot, slow the game down, slow down, change your approach. Always look into the distance with your binoculars, because the render distance, depending on maybe your computer or whatever the case may be, might be different. So some animals render out 600 meters out, but you won't know that unless you take your binoculars out. Always look way out in the distance. This way you can have leverage when it's time to approach your animals. Like these animals that are up on this hill here, I have all the leverage now. So from here I can judge my approach however I please. So let me know in the comments what you think. If this has helped you in any way. Again, these are just rules that of the mechanics of the game. You feel free to break them if you want to, but when you follow them, you'll be very successful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.